Hey guys, it's Dylan here with Dylan's Adventures and Projects YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to build your very own power supply. There's a couple different ways you can do this and only a few parts that you actually need. One of them being batteries, the power inverter, wire, screws, and just a few tools necessary. So the purpose of me building this was to fill a certain need that I wanted to have with us whenever we would go on road trips. So I generally always carry a tire repair kit, an air hose. I always carry this tiny central pneumatic 100 psi air compressor. So the specifications that this power supply needed to meet was to power this air compressor while we were on the road, just in case we got something in one of our tires. I could fix it, repair it on the fly, or if we were to get it flat, well, we would just have to change the tire out if we got a flat. But if we were to get something in the tire and it was repairable, I could do that as necessary. And you can power up anything you need, depending if you buy a power inverter big enough, you could pretty much power up anything you needed. And if you had enough batteries. You could also tie this into a solar controller and have solar panels going to it, but that's not what this video is going to encapsulate today. It's just going to be showing you how to build a quick power supply. Alright, so let's get to it. The batteries I have here today are going to be 12 volts a piece. I've got two 12 volt batteries that are rated for 55 amp hours a piece. They're brand new, so let's get those open and I'll let you guys look at them. So we got two Rocket 55 amp hour. They're 13.32 volts, 12 volt, 55 amp hour. RKT 12550. So we have two of those. And thank God they have handles on them. I was gonna have to build something for that if not. Well, we're gonna put this in as a milk crate. And I've already done some of my measurements and pre-drilled some of the holes. So the idea is I'm going to put the batteries in the milk crate. I'm going to put this piece of wood on top of it and then put my power inverter on top of that. I know it's going to be pretty heavy, but this is exactly what I wanted to build. And the power inverter that I'm using is an Energizer 4000 watt power inverter. And it's got two 120 volt receptacles up front and USB plugs. And it is capable for a remote and can be hardwired as well if you needed to. So the first thing we're going to do is drop these batteries in. It being 12 volts, you're going to want a jumper from positive to positive. So positive, positive to positive. That way you're tying your batteries in line, you're increasing the amperage but keeping the voltage. If you wanted to increase the voltage, if you wanted 24 volts, you would have to do them parallel. I'm sorry, in line. I think parallel would be positive to positive, in line would be positive to negative, increasing the voltage. We need to wire these up first. Let's check out my hardware. And these wires, I'm using 0 gauge wire. And these are pre-made. I've got a set of crimpers, I could pre-make these as well. Or you could buy these pre-made already if you know the size that you need. Alright, so we got the red on there, and then now we're going to do the black. And you want to make sure and lay these flat on top of the battery instead of flipping them over. You don't want any space in between your cabling. Alright. So that's pretty snug and tight. Now the next thing we're gonna do, I've already measured and pre-drilled these holes. This is just a piece of plywood that I treated with deck sealer or wood sealer. And then I'm gonna lay this right on top of here and then screw this down. I'm gonna grab grab a couple more screws and put a couple extra in here. So these screws that I'm using are self-tapping pan head screws. So I did pre-drill this wood, but these I'm just gonna sink in there. Now that's in there. I'm gonna take our power inverter and set it right on top here. Just like that. Now this is what I did. These self-tapper screws, they went right in on the edge of the milk crate. So they're holding inside that plastic on both sides and one right there. So that's how we have it set up right now. The piece of wood is not meant for it to be picked up by, it's just simply to hold the power inverter onto the crate. We're gonna put these cables on and then tighten them up. So we're gonna do black to black and red to red. And make sure your power inverter is off when you do this. You don't want any accidents. You don't want to do that too tight. Now it also comes with these little plastic covers. So we're going to slip those on. Alright, so let's try it. Alright, so that's how you pick it up. The moment of truth. Volts, 12.6 volts. And it says it's charged up. It's got a menu, it tells you how many watts you're using, and then the voltage. The whole purpose of me having this power supply was to power up the air compressor. We're gonna give it a plug in and see if it works. Definitely works. I'm not quite sure why, but the power supply is jumping between 41 and 80 watts, which is a lot less than it's capable for, but it's definitely working. This is only 2.6 amps at 120 volts, so I'm not sure how many watts. Well, if it's only pulling 41 watts, 41 to 80, let's see. So when calculating your wattage, you'll do 120 volts at 2.6 amps. So your watts, it's just 312. Only said we were doing 41. So finding the electrical current draw in amperes and multiplying that by the voltage used by the appliance. Most appliances in the United States uses 120 volts. Larger appliances such as clothes and dryers use 240. Right. So it would be 2.6 times 120. Right. So that's definitely enough. So that's how you build your own power supply. If you guys like this video and want to see more like it, check out some of my other videos that I have on my channel. And if you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, subscribe to my channel. I put out content 2 to 3 times a month. And if there's any projects you guys would like to see specifically, just let me know in the comments. Alright guys, thanks to all of you for watching. Bye.